Hello. My housemate had an embarrassing moment recently. Before I tell you the story of what he did, I'll give you a bit of context for the sort of dude that he is. My housemate is really smart and really dumb. You know those people? Equal parts smart, dumb. He's like a psychologist. He's like done all this uni and shit in psychology. You'll come home from work one day, something shit happened to you at work, you'll tell him about it, he'll listen, he'll validate the other person's experience, he'll get you to see it from their perspective as well as your perspective. You come away from that conversation with a total understanding of what took place that day. But the next day, randomly out of nowhere, he'll just go, fuck, I was supposed to be at work 3 hours ago. That's the sort of dude my housemate is. He doesn't really, he can't belong in this world. One time I asked him to make me a coffee and he filled up the electric kettle with milk and he turned it on. He's 31. He's like, you know that photo of evolution that starts like that and becomes like that? Harry's like there. He's like not quite, he hasn't fully stood up. Even this, actually, this is weird. Recently, we've got 2 dogs, right, in the house and I think the dogs don't realise that he's not one of them. I think they see him as part of their tribe. And the other night, I was watching TV, right, and Harry was on the couch next to me, my dog was on the ground. But I was watching Harry out of the corner of my eye, because I always do, because it's fascinating. And my dog, she was trying to catch a fly. She was like, you know, dogs do that? She was like, tell me if you think this is weird. Without taking his eyes off the TV, Harry just caught the fly and fed it to my dog. Pretty weird, isn't it? And it was so symbiotic. The dog was like, yeah, that's what we do. Weird. So Harry was dating someone, and they'd been dating for a little while, not long enough that this wasn't really awkward. They tried role play for the first time ever. Harry had never tried role play before, so he was waiting outside the room, and he came into the bedroom, right? And she was waiting in the bedroom, and she was dressed up like a sexy nurse. And Harry comes in the room, right? And she says to him as he walks in, she goes, "Ooh, what seems to be the problem?" But that the ooh was, I added that in, but whatever. She goes, "What seems to be the problem?" And role play is a lot like improv, right? You got to be sharp, you got to be on your toes. I think we've established Harry's not really capable of that shit. So she goes, "What seems to be the problem?" And Harry just faltered and went, "I've got cancer." It's a true story. I was like, "Did you have sex after that?" He's like, "Absolutely not." Harry and I, we learned something recently. We learned that we can say fucked up shit to each other and it's fine because we know each other so well. We've known each other for 15 years. We know our ethics, our morals. We know that when we say fucked up shit to each other, we don't really mean it. But what we learned is that that's fine when you're at home. Out in the world, other people can hear you. And they might not see the world in the same light that you do. We learned this the hard way, Harry and I. We used to play a game called Herald Sun Headlines. The way the game works, you're walking around, you're living your life, you see something happening in the world, you describe it to your friend as a Herald Sun headline. So you see a Somalian family having a picnic in a park, you say, African gangs taking over Melbourne. That's how the game works. It's a fun game. A few years ago, me and Harry, we're in the backseat of an Uber, right? We're driving through Melbourne in the backseat of an Uber. It was during the big bushfires. That was all over the news, the bushfires. It was all anyone was talking about. And as we're driving along, we look out the window. And by the way, when we play Herald Sun headlines, we don't preface it by being like, Herald Sun headline. We know when we're playing the game. Harry looks out the window and there's a nightclub and there's clearly a queer event going on. There's rainbow flags, there's people dressed in drag, having ciggies out the front. Harry looks at that, looks to me and goes, "Gays dance while our nation burns." Which is a fucking good Herald Sun headline. But there was someone else in the car. The Uber driver looks back at us and goes, "Yeah, it's a disgrace, isn't it?" And that's the day we stopped playing Herald Sun headlines. You guys have been lovely. My name's Lewis. Enjoy the rest of your night. Rock on. Peace out.